Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's now move on to setting up the use item functionality for our inventory. So I'm going to open up the inventory component here and I'll add a new function called use item. I'm going to drag this into the public category. Now I did not show this, but I also placed the drop item in this category as well, and the calculate drop transform in the private category. For the input of this function, it will be of type sInventorySlot. I'm going to call this item to use. Seems like I made a little typo error, so we can just rename that. Right. Now, the first thing I want to check is if the data asset that we are trying to use is valid. So I'm going to drag off and do slot contains item. Now you might think, why am I doing this check if the item options would not be valid at all, even if we right click on an empty slot? Now this is because for some reason, if you might want to do like a key input instead of right clicking and getting the options, and then you just want to like assign a key to drop the item or use the item, then this check will be a safety net for you. I'm going to drag off and do an AND Boolean. And the next thing we want to check is if our item effect class is valid as well. And this will be the class that we're going to use to, let's say, apply some health to your character. If you want to call a certain ability or something, let's say this was an ability type game, you can set things up differently. Now we're going to move on to creating a item effect class. So let's open up the inventory, data assets, actually actors. And I'm going to right click right here and create a new blueprint class of type actor. And I'll call this VP underscore effect base. Let's open up the data asset, primary data asset that is, and add a new variable of type effect base. I'm going to call this effect class. I'm going to search for effect base and I'm going to select the class reference. Hit compile and close this now. Okay, so we already set this and this. So from the item to use, we're going to break the structure, hide everything, and get the data asset. Then we can get the effect class from this and check if it is a valid class. And this will be the second condition of our AND Boolean. I'll then add a branch, and only if this is true, then we can proceed. If it's false, then we can just add a print string to say the effect class is not valid. And then we can exit the function by calling a return node and giving it an output of type Boolean. And I'm going to call this return value. I'm going to leave this as false. I'll just make the print string red so we know it's an error. Right, so off of the true pin, we can call the spawn actor from class function. And the class that we want is our effect class. So let's drag this in. And for the transform, we can just use the exact same get drop transform function. So head to private, and I'm going to drag in calculate drop transform. And since we're using this function for both dropping and using, I'm going to rename this to be calculate spawn transform. And then we need to check if we have an item that has a stack size that is greater than 1, and we try to use this item, then we want to update the slot's quantity. And let's say you have 5 and you use 1, it should go down to 4, and then 3, then 2, etc. But if it is the last item within your inventory or a stack size of 1, then we should just remove the item from the inventory entirely after you use it. So I'm going to get the item to use as a local variable. Right, and I'm going to drag off here and break this structure I'll access the quantity and the index. And I'm going to check if the quantity is less than or equal to 1. If it is, then we can proceed. And if it is less than or equal to 1 and we use the item, then we just want to call the function remove item from slot index. The index we want is this one. And that's that. I can now call my return node and connect the return value as shown. Now, if this is false, then we need to update the slot's quantity, and we already have a function for that. So let's drag in set slot quantity, connect this to the false pin. I'll then duplicate this return node and set the return value to be true. For the item to use would be your target slot, and the quantity would be the current quantity minus 1. Right, so we can only use one item at a time, or one instance of that item at a time. Right, so this function is complete. We can then head over to your widget class, item options, event graph, and I'm going to override the onClicked event for use item. I'll duplicate these two variables, drag off and search for use item. I'm going to bring this up at a branch, and only if it was used successfully, then we would remove the item options and update the focus options for your inventory. With this done, we can probably give it a test. Let's see if I'm missing anything. For now, let's open up the data asset for test item, and I'm going to choose the effect class to be the effect base. This is temporary, because right now, if we try to use the item and the effect class is not valid, then it will get the print string here, effect class not valid, and exit the function, and we'll ignore all of this. Right, so we already added this. Let's open up the effect base, and on the event begin play, let's just add a print string to say effect activated. This is just for testing. And now let's give it a test. Hit play. I'm going to add item, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select use item. You can see the effect activated was just printed, and the quantity has updated as well. I'm going to use again. We'll have 3, then 2, then 1, and lastly, it will remove the item from the inventory if you use the last one. We can close the inventory, and we can also exit out of our game just fine. So I recommend that when you use an item within your effect base or class, you can call the destroy actor function right after that. I don't believe. Okay, yes, we also have the option for the lifespan of the actor. So let's say after you use it, we leave it within the world for 5 seconds or something. Let's say you set a value of 5, then it will automatically destroy itself. That's it for this one, guys. See you in the next one.